Sorry. Hello. You know what? What's up? Hey, Gatekeepers. Are we live? Are we going? It's been a little bit of a hectic. I know. Hi, Doug. Nice to see you. Long time no talk. So Doug and I have been madly creating lots of cool stuff for you guys. And so we are, pardon me while I battle. I'm going to try, let me know if you lose me, a microphone and see if that helps with stuff. So, Scruffles here. Like here. Hi, baby girls. Come here. She's like, no. Well, hey, Anson. Nice to see you. So, hey, Kendra. Hi, Peggy. Peggy's here. Yay. So I'm back in Southern California. It's quite a trip, but we won't go there. It's super long. Hi, Doug. So I went ahead and put the link to the handout in above. Here's the story. Okay, sorry. So I went ahead and totally dated myself without reference. So I went ahead and put the link to the handout, and then I need to find it myself so that I can go along with you. I got this. I'm on it. There we go. Okay. So you're going to kind of see me not always looking at the camera because I have a handout and I want to be able to look at it. Okay. So how are you doing? See, now I put it right over the chat so I can't see what you're saying. Hold on. I got this. Get organized. I have two monitors, but I'm not using them. I don't know why. I should be so I can see you. So there we go. Now I can see what you're saying and I can see the handout because that's how it is. You got to love kids, right? They keep life interesting. Let's see how we can mess with mom. So, yeah. So as we are readers, and we always talk about the reading process and how to create readers, and we are creating some incredible screen readers that I'm seeing here today, like Peggy and Joanne and Cindy. We have so many great people. And then, you know, as you join Facebook, people ask us questions as you join this group, and as you join our email list, people can ask questions, and then every week people are asking questions. Remember to scroll. So there's a question that we get a lot. One of our most popular questions that we just sort of move along, son, that we just don't answer, and that is basically, there goes Scruffles, bye-bye. Oh, she stopped. I'm not going to chase down the dog. So a lot of people ask us, how can I write a screenplay that a reader will like? We can tell you how to do that, but we haven't wanted to focus on that because we are focused on readers, not on writers. And actually a couple people posted in the page, I'm confused, what is this page? This page is about the reading process. This group is about, we are about that. However, we also want to always be listening to you and always be giving you the things that you need and the things that you're asking for. And we get so many people ask us that question about how can I write my screenplay? When you hear jingling, that's the dog. It makes me happy. When we want to be able to answer those questions. So we've created a couple of things. We've created a couple of things to answer that question. One is the Facebook Live that we're doing today. And this is, I mean, there's a lot of info on this handout. I'm going to kind of not race through it, but I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about some of the things. You can kind of, you know, kind of like our masterclass where we have so much information that we say, here's the things you need to know. We're only going to tell you, yay, Joanne, our reader is working on a coverage right now. Love it. Like in our masterclass, you know, we have a ton of stuff in there and then we touch on pieces of it. I'm going to do that today with this handout. And so we've also we're creating it. Should I just dive right in, Doug, or should I just go through the handout? We're really excited because it's brand spanking new, literally creating it as we go. As a matter of fact, we'll be adding more stuff later as we tell you about what we're doing here. So why don't we dive in and then I'll tell you the rest. I love news. Let me know if you have questions along the way. Oh, it's, of course, as always. But let's just kind of dive in. So we kind of came up with, this is an outline, basically, of things to think about, things to look for, you know, to make your screenplay something that will get past the reader. So basically, we want to kind of start, though, as we always do, and as I don't think enough writing things do, is to start with the mindset of what you need. Joanne says, being a script reader will provide tremendous insight into working on your own scripts. Absolutely. So true. She's always like, when is the podcast? January. Podcast comes out in January. I said it. You heard it. Right, Doug? No problem, right? No problem. Oh, did you hear my voice? That was not total like Freudian slipper showing. So basically, I don't think enough programs talk about mindset that you need to have because it's so important. And I think, as a matter of fact, the typical mindset around the writing process is very negative. And when you join Facebook groups and people talk about writing, I don't even go in there because I get annoyed. And it's very paranoid and negative. You see a lot of that, like, they're going to steal your screenplay. Don't let anyone see it. But so we want to be, the answer to that. Not yet, Joanne. Yep, I could go ahead. Is that what you're saying, Doug? Sorry. Yay, podcast. Also, I think we're going to share some of these Facebook Lives on our podcast. I've joined a podcast recently, and saw that they were doing that. I'm like, that's kind of cool. So I will actually start reading your comments a little more so that if you do make a comment, you will be on the podcast too. How exciting is that? So I will kind of read your comments and then we can share that as well. Because I think that's kind of neat, right? It might be extra. We're kind of figuring that out still, but I thought that was kind of cool because you guys ask great questions. So why shouldn't we share that with the world? Let me know if this microphone's too loud or whatever. Okay, so we're going to start with mindset stuff. And basically, some of the things that we talk about. So some of these outlines. So I'm going to start with mindset, kind of mindset of reader, and then habits. Mindset and habit kind of mixed together here in this first little section. And so basically, scroll, Carolyn. There, Doug just put the link again. Hopefully that helps. It might be, should be. So he says, I cannot able to download the handle. The handle, 10-4 big buddy. It's not a link. At least not on my screen. I think it might be there. Doug just put it. So link there. Try that link, Cindy, Doug says. Okay, so I'm going to try not to do that. So maybe this particular episode won't be one for the podcast, or maybe we'll edit me out. Ooh, cool. Anyway, boy, it would be a lot of editing, the whole snow thing. So to develop the mindset and habits of a writer is one of the main things is to write. There's that. So you want to try and write in a journal every day, or, and this is actually, my mom used to do this, and I have decades of flip calendars, just that you put on the wall in the little squares, literal, like either I went through phases of writing a joke every day or writing, just doing things it's just kind of mark your day. It's kind of interesting that when you go back and look at it, but it's better to keep a journal. So that you're writing, kind of getting used to that habit and blocking out a specific time every day, a non-negotiable for you parents out there, specific time every day. So Anson says it isn't clickable and it can't be copied in chat on phones. So does it, Doug is the editor guy. Hi, Elaine. So is it clickable in the one that Doug just posted, Anson? Did you try that? So let me know if that works or not. If not, we will post it as its own link when we're done. So it's a post on its own. We'll definitely make sure that we get it to you. And also, you should be on our mailing list. If you're not, get on the mailing list, because we always, every week, we send out on Mondays, Monday or Tuesday, we send out an email of what the topic's going to be this week. And then we also give you the handout from the week before. So we do that pretty consistently every week to tell you what's coming and to make sure that you got what we did. And we're also going to be putting these videos on a YouTube channel as well. No, okay. Report, don't report, no. So if you're seeing that, if it says report, you're in the, on the upper side of the post, there's 3 little dots. That's where the report thing, on the bottom, is there no, it would be a click. Report that, Doug. Are you in the group or are you on the page? No, you're here because you're on, I don't know, I'm so confused. So we will definitely post the link if you don't get it. So take some notes as we go, and then you'll see when you get the handout kind of all the things that go with it. That's weird though, because we've been doing this consistently and never have had this problem. So I'm not sure. Maybe I should try. Maybe it's different if it's from the host. Try that, she says with confidence. See if that worked. Hello. You YouTube channel. Hi, Mickey. Hi, Donna. More readers, more screen readers. Yay. So you want to try to block out a non-negotiable time. Now, I'm not talking about hours and hours. People think that they have to like go off into the mountains and I need to be a writer and I need to be, the shining happens when you do that. So you just need, a screenplay is only 90 to 190 days. If you wrote a page a day, you could finish a screenplay, right? It doesn't have to be this. People put so much on it. Just start writing, right? You're a writer, start writing. So those are kind of the block out those times and be very consistent with them and make them, turn off your phone and your email and all your dings, turn them, no more dings, focus in, face that blank page and just start. That's really, I know it sounds silly, but if you want to write a screenplay, then, write. Hi, Stacy. Yes, good advice. Stacy says, make sure your screen is maximized to see that link. Nice. I am glad to be home. Donna, thank you very much. You know what? Persistence, Anson. Go man. Persistence is the key. That is another form of, writing basically. It's just writing every day, being persistent, hanging in there. So if you are somebody, we get this a lot too, which is one of the reasons we're doing this, is that people ask us like, I know I have this burning desire to write, but I have no idea what I want to write. I have no idea where to go, what to do, how to form this. So basically, if you start looking at what are the favorite movies that you like, what are the genres that you like, what are, what are some personal experiences that you have, like, writing what you know, and we harp on this a lot, but write what you know. When you write about things that are in your life, I can't even tell you, I could go on, but I won't, how many times I've said to friends about my own life, like, oh man, you can't write this. No one would believe it. The cursor does laugh at me all the time. Hi, Dee. Nice to see you. So, if you try to pull from personal experiences, and then as we joke about, put your opportunity ears on, and you put your ears on and you listen everywhere. Like just the other day, I was and I was walking by an elevator in an apartment building, and someone said, "I don't know how to prove my sketchy life." Is that the greatest line ever? And they were really loud. And apparently they were trying to get some kind of aid, assistance. And so they were trying to prove that they didn't have anything going on and they needed the money and they didn't know how to prove it because they had such a sketchy life. He was going on and on. He gave all the details, like shouting. He was upset, clearly. I'm sorry to laugh. He was upset. But the way that he was saying it was just such a classic character of like being, I don't know how to prove that I need this help. So listen, it is amazing because there's just stuff everywhere. And then, pull from kind of your favorite films. And I don't mean plagiarism, but at least know what genre you're in, or know, if you hate fantasy, you're not going to be a good fantasy writer, stick to whatever it is that you know. And then what are some of your favorite characters? Go even a little bit deeper in that. You can even go so far, and we put this in the handout whenever you get that link. You can even go so far as to write characters on 3x5 cards, toss them in the air because that's fun, then pick them all up, and then or just pick up 2 and see who you get. And we actually do an exercise like this with our screen readers, but start to pick up the characters that you love and then put them all together and go, ooh, what kind of story might this be? That's just kind of a way to get you thinking. Or one of the things that I love when people do is they think of a new twist on public domain stories. So like the Grimm's fairy tales, I believe those are public domain. Snow White is actually a public domain story, which is why there's the Huntsman. So Disney, jumped on that story, but then the Huntsman's come out and that's a whole different take on that story. So you can go back and find stories that are popular but are public domain and write your own take on it, or take a character out of a story and write, what would Star Wars be from one stormtrooper's perspective? You don't want to do that in terms of it being Star Wars, but again, if you go back to public domain, kind of like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is Tom Stoppard's brilliant play, where he took out, I believe they made a movie of it too, but he took out 2 guards, that are just guards in Hamlet, and he wrote their perspective. So they mention the things that happen when they're on stage in the actual play, but their whole thing is like about their situation. So take out, go to a public, what if, Snow White from Grumpy's perspective? Oh, see, like that's a great screenplay, right? If you write the story of Grumpy, like that's awesome. Like what the heck? Why is he grumpy? He was grumpy one day and he got tagged the rest of his life. I don't know. But to take one of the smaller characters out of a story and make it about them, like you could have that grumpy idea. I think that's fantastic. And what you got a sequel right there, because then it's happy. And it's sleepy. You just made it, because that's a public domain story. I don't know if the dwarves are in the Snow White story. I don't know. I don't know the public domain story of Snow White, but that's what I'm saying is like, that's a really great place to start is public domain. Peggy's asking, what would Star Wars be if the stormtroopers could actually shoot? Really short, says Anson. That's so they have these like training sessions and they all stink, but they're too like they're in a hurry. I don't know. So yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, you're getting the idea. Like do it. And so you can also do just basic fish out of water stories. People really, really, really respond to that. So what is your fish out of? What is your 6 more seagulls coming up or sequels? What is your fish out of water? Like, where is someplace like me in the snow the other day? And I love that someone posted the Renee Zellweger. I have seen that. But even in the clip that they posted, like she does not look like how I looked the other day. Like it was not even close. But what is your fish out of water story? Like where, if you got plunked somewhere that's really would not be your thing, like where might that be? Okay, so Doug says that the link worked on his phone, on the page, not in the chat. Does that make sense? I knew what you meant, Cindy. I know the difference between a seagull and a squeakle. A squeakle? That's a Mickey Mouse story. And so you want to definitely be opening your movie with a punch. The first 10 pages are the most important. That is true, because that's the thing that pulls the reader in and keeps them reading. So those first 10 pages are really, really important. The first 10 and the last 10 are very, very important. So, and as a matter of fact, there's a thing called a 30-10 or a 10-30 where we don't ever do it, and we don't want anyone who learns to read from us to do this, but people read either the first 10 and the last 30 or the first 30 and the last 10. So some people do that when they're bombarded with scripts. So you want to make sure that those first and last pages are very, very, very compelling, especially those first 10. That's what's going to pull people in. And, obviously stay away from cliches. You always want to begin your story in the midst of something. You don't want to have scenes that have a lot of high buy unless that high and buy is significant. You don't need to, we have this I think it's in the story distraction episode that we did here. You want to make sure that you, cut that off. You don't typically, and like if you're in a restaurant, we don't need to see them enter an order unless there's something significant, like, we don't have toast, that scene, there's something significant, you want to keep it. If the goodbye is, they're dying or something, you want to keep that. You want to see that. But if not, cut it off. We don't have characters, hi, how are you? Hi, like you don't need any of that. So you definitely want to start the scene as late as possible. End the scene before it's actually over. We guarantee if you chop off those beginnings and ends of each scene, your story will move faster. Let the audience catch up. Audiences are smart. Don't dumb it down for them. They'll stick up with you. They'll stick up for you, and they'll stay with you. She was wearing high heels. That's funny. That's funny, but it was pretty awesome. Yeah, there's Jonathan Living Squeakle. Being a grumpy misanthrope, trying to make it as a glad handling, big smiling salesperson. That's Joanne's hashtag my real life. Fish out of water. Awesome. Go. Knock it out. Knock it out of the park. If anyone can do it, I know it's you. Absolutely. So also you want to only introduce the characters that must be introduced. You want to introduce that main character, and that we're talking about the first 10 pages here. So you want to save the first the other characters till later. Did we do a 10 page? I don't think we did. We should do a first 10 pages topic. So you want, too many, if you bombard people with characters, one, it's very confusing for a reader because they're trying to keep up with all these new people. And if you bombard them with characters, they're just going to, glaze over. So and it's true in films as well, in the movie as well, but it's not nearly as bad when you're seeing it as when you're reading it, to keep you, because you have visuals that are a little bit easier to follow when you're tracking a bunch of different new names and stuff. And you capitalize new names the first time that they appear in a screenplay. When a character first appears, you capitalize their name. So it can get really overwhelming when you're like all these capitalizations. You start to really zone out. So you definitely don't want to do that in your first 10 pages. Let the audience follow along with you, and just get it on the page. I love this because this is also part of the mindset thing too, is you just want to get it on the page. Just get her done. it's only your first draft. If you don't do it, if you don't write something, it may never get written. So you definitely want to do that. So, I mean, these are really kind of basic tips and basic things, because this whole idea was just to kind of get you started. And so one of the other things that we've done, and one of the things that we want to announce today that we're very excited about, and this little handout is just a tiny little glimpse of what we're doing, and that is we are creating a mastermind. So we're creating a mastermind, and we're opening it up this evening. And basically, and today is December 6th, so we're opening it up today. We already have some people that are in there, but we're opening it up, and what we're doing is we're creating a pretty small group. It's going to be a limited group of people that might want to finish their screenplays or write their first screenplay. So if you're writing dozens of screenplays and you're like, meetings and producing, and it's all, you're in there, this isn't for you. This is for someone who like either knows they want to write something, doesn't even know where to start, like doesn't even know how to get an idea. So we can do we have some major exercises along the lines of what we just described, or they have an idea, but they just don't know like how to begin, or you've written a screenplay years ago. And I don't mean that it took you 3 years and now you're done, so you're still in it. I mean, for those people that wrote a screenplay a long time ago, but they don't, it's like not, this is for the person that really wants to get a screenplay done, finished, and out there. So we're creating this mastermind where we can meet. What we'll be doing is we'll be meeting on Zoom, which is the platform that we use in our screen reader programs, because we can see each other and talk, and it's a little bit easier to get together. We're going to meet once in December. Yay! Did we break your writer's block situation, Mickey? Mickey just said, "Oh, I think you just broke my writer's block situation." Do tell. So basically, we want to create this mastermind where we meet once in December. And so we kind of get you going, get you started. Then we take the time off so we can play and go see Santa and all that stuff. And then we hit the ground running in January. So what we'll do is we'll do 2 sessions in January together. And we have exercises so you can get some pages done. How about that? Done. So you have your first act done, and then your second act done. And we have exercises to spark you, get you going. And then we do those sessions so we can share the pages, look at them, critique them, comment on them. And then we'll meet twice in January and then twice in February. And that's it. Just a couple of months to crank out that screenplay. The reason that we're doing it in this time period, one, is that as we hit the ground running in January, it's always nice to do things in the new year. People are a little more, this is my year, and they're just a little more easy. It's easier to start new things, and it's fun. Fun's good. And then also because a lot of competitions happen in the spring. So we're not affiliated with any competitions, but we thought, this would be a good thing. You get your screenplay done, and then you can start submitting it in the spring to different competitions. And so we just thought this was a way to sort of jumpstart those people that have always been thinking about it, and all those people that have been asking us for this. We're just putting it together. It's a beta. We're just testing it. So we're going to put the link. Hopefully it'll work. We'll put the link. Doug, you can go ahead and put the Lead Pages link that I sent you. We'll put the link in here. So there is a fee involved, but we're keeping it pretty minimal. And we'll talk about this in screen readers again for you screen readers that are here. So yes, the first session is orientation and homework. We're big on homework. So we'll put the link so you can, we have a page where it's all laid out about everything that's in it, how it all works. So basically we are going to open it up tonight to a few more people. We'd like to get about 20 people in the sessions each week. And so it's going to fill up really fast. And so we'll have those people in the sessions each week. I mean, not each week, 1 in December, 2 in January, 2 in February. So we don't want it to get too big. So we're just going to keep it open, taking in people just until that fills up, or until we're going to close it out next Wednesday on our Facebook Live. So you have like a week to decide unless it fills up. So that's basically it. And we're calling it the Screenwriters. See what we did there? The Screenwriters Mastermind. So it is a mastermind, meaning that we will be sharing all kinds of ideas with you. We will be your cheerleader, get you going, and then you can read each other's pages. We do require everyone to sign a release form saying that it's all educational only. We're doing this in screen readers. It's working beautifully. Nobody's been having a problem at all. Just to make sure that everyone feels comfortable sharing their work. You don't have to share your work if you don't want to share your work. That's totally optional. But for those people that do share their work, we want to make sure that they feel comfortable doing that. So we do have you sign a release form saying, no, it's cool. I won't share your work outside of here. I'm not going to steal your stuff. I've never seen anybody steal your stuff. The whole point of this is to help you write in your own voice. Even if you stole someone else's stuff, haven't you seen those movies? It never works. Be yourself. No, but seriously, we want you to write your own, from your own place. So we just, because so many people were asking about it, we thought, well, let's try it. So we're just going to try it. It's a beta thing. I guarantee it won't be at the same price if we continue to do it, because this is very, for those, we have a few screen readers actually that joined early on and got it at a much better price than the people that are paying now. But when they first joined, there was not even half of the same amount of stuff that's in there now, and just all of the guests and movie night and all that stuff that we have in screen readers. I don't know if this will grow like that. Our main focus will always be our screen readers. That's our main thing. That's what we love. That's what we want to do. But we did want to try to figure out a way to service the people that are asking this and that wanted that idea of writing a screenplay from a reader's perspective. And we really think that's a different thing when you write it from a reader's perspective. Well, two things. One is that when you write it from a reader's perspective, you have a different take, right, Joanne? Like she just was talking about that. You have a different take of your own work when you're reading so many other screenplays as well. It's just different. So we will be able to help you with that. And two, you will have our mindset. And we are seeing this with the screen readers, right, you guys? I mean, it's just amazing. The mindset that's happening, the amount of support, the collaborations that are going on, it's just so inspiring. And we want to be that for writers in general. I really do. I joke about this a lot, but I really do feel very sincerely that we need to support each other as writers, that writers are they're just a special breed. They're someone that, they wear their hearts on their sleeve. They're very in tune with things that are going on. And we want to be the person that says, you can do this, you need to, because they also, I don't feel, get a lot of support from their general friends and family. People say things like, get a real job. They say, they roll their eyes at people that want to do kind of unusual things like this. We will never do that. We will always be, well, someone does this. Why can't it be you? I don't understand. Why can't it be you? So that's where we'll be coming from. All big love, right? Mickey knows. So yeah, so big love. Like basically, like we want to be that person. We want to be that voice in your head that says there's no reason why you can't write a screenplay. There's no reason why you can't get it out there. And so that's why we're creating the mastermind. So we will put the link to that. Do I have that link? We will put the link to that handy. Oh no, Doug just did it. Of course he did, because he's on it. So that the one that says lead page or screenwriters information, click on that. It'll show you, and we'll review it too in the screen readers section. It'll be a little bit different, you guys that are screen readers. So hang tight and look at it after we talk. So yeah, so there you have it. So basically, it's a much deeper version of what we're doing in this handout. So as soon as we're done today, we will I'll post it as a separate link so people can check it out. And new comment. I always forget to scroll. And then do you guys have any other questions? It's up, baby. Do you have any other questions regarding this handout, or do you have questions just about how to get started or how to get, whatever, anything about that? If you're watching this in the replay, go ahead and post your questions. Go ahead and click on the links to everything and let us know. Also on that page that tells everything about the mastermind, of course, there is a place where you can leave a question, because that's who we are. And we also have Gatekeeper swag. So there's a link, and it shows the picture of the cup. I think Cindy, you were asking about how do you get it. Look for the link, we'll post it again, that has the picture of the actual cup. Well, I have screen reader right here, always. But they all say, my lipstick. It's awesome. It's my writer lipstick. So yeah, so definitely get your swag too. And then next week we are going to do planning your 2019. Woohoo! And we'll have a really awesome handout for that. That's actually kind of a big one. So we want to give you. So when we're done, so with the final draft, what is the first step you suggest? So the reason that we're doing it during this time for this particular thing is so that you are done for competitions in the spring. There are some reputable ones, and within this, so we're doing the Zoom sessions, right, where we're doing with just screen readers. Also during that time period, we will be in here in the Gatekeepers doing, like we did today, doing certain topics that we have that we're putting into the mastermind. Submitting to competitions will be one of those topics. So we'll pick the ones that we think are also good generally for everyone. And so we will cover like which ones we'll give you a handout that lists the ones that we think that are good, what different ones are for. Basically the main things is to submit to competitions, submit to agencies, which will be another topic, and then pitch fests are also good, which we've done some. I would look in the search bar in the Gatekeepers group. If you just go in the search bar and type pitch fests, all the things that when we've talked about pitch fests will pop up. Because we did I think we've done pitch fests a couple of times in here. That actually is a good way to meet producers. They do come sincerely looking for things. And I've taken pitches and I've passed projects along and things. I've seen things happen that way. Usually in a pitch fest, at least from my experience, and again, all this is always just from our experience, but what I've seen happen is that you develop relationships more than whatever you pitched gets made. Typically it's that they like your work and then you can start working together and then other things happen. And I know that the Quiet Place guys, hi Chris, I know that the Quiet Place guys, they won a contest. That's how they won a contest. That script that they made did not ever get made. The people that they won a contest, which brought them out to Hollywood, and they did this whole thing, but they built relationships. And, there's some people that poo-poo contests and go, oh, you can't, they don't really help you. But the thing about a contest though, the thing about anything is that you get what you put into it. Like if you do the things, we give people so many tools, and it's kind of sort of mind-boggling to me how many people will come into the page and be like, I thought you were going to give me a job. It's like, I have no idea anything about you or your work or your whatever. Yeah. No, I'm not going to go, hey, Jim Cameron, hire that guy that posted on my page. So that's why we've created a much bigger funnel, so we can start to get to know people and get to know their work and get, we are trying to be an in for sure for those people that work hard, show us that they're in, do the work, like it's a way that to develop relationships. We are bringing producers into screen readers and they're talking, and we're trying to build that up, and we're building it even more, like doing more things along that line. So that was a very long-winded answer to your question, Anson. Sorry about that. But yeah, so basically looking for agents, pitch fests, contests, those are kind of the main ways in. And then we're going to do a whole thing on producing it yourself, because that's also an option, or producing parts of it or whatever, different ways that you can produce it yourself. So follow through is everything. And I have to say, I had a producer that was looking for writers, and I'm in many writers groups. This is a few years ago, and so I did the whole, calling all writers. She wanted writers that would write, for her, for things. And so she held up her, yay, Anson. And so she held up her end of the bargain. We actually met in person, and it was all LA people, but I was astounded. So many people were like, can't get anybody to read my stuff. I can't blah, blah, blah. And wah, wah, wah. And so I was like, okay, here she is. She's looking. One person came through. So a lot of people came to the meeting, right? And then she said, okay, send me some samples and whatever. The amount of like, oh, my script's not ready, that I heard all these excuses why they didn't have things for her, unbelievable. One person came through. Bet you can guess who that was. Can you guess who came through? That would be Doug. Doug, which is why Doug is my partner, because he comes through. So it is kind of astounding. And it was writers that I know write, and then suddenly they all just dried up on what they could give to her. And it was kind of embarrassing, because I opened the door to someone that was producing movies. And yeah, so there you have it. So this is why we are creating a path if you want to do the work and take the steps. That's why we're here. Cool. So next week, we'll have a nice big planner for you so that your 2019 can be spectacular. That is the idea. So tune in. Next week, we'll be back at our regular time. I was traveling. Apologize. I was literally in the air during our time yesterday. So we are back, and we will be here at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, just like always. All right, guys. Have a good week. I hope this helps, and let me know. We'll put the But Doug, what else you got? Peggy's learning. Look, she's even quoting, because that's the first question you hear when you give someone a script. What else you got? Nice. So good. And he has other things, as a matter of fact. So, all right. We will talk to you guys next week. You guys are awesome. See you soon. See you, Stacy. Nice to see you. I didn't see you pop in. All right. See you soon. Bye. What else you got?